Getting back to medium, large corporations, the reason that I'm pushing so heavily on that is because I want, places like Bass and Buck and places like to draw crowds in here into Columbus to come here other than just the reason of visiting Fort Benning.
Right.
Yeah. And to stay.
Yeah. To stay here, to shop, to bring money back to the community. I don't want our small business owners to pay the majority of the taxes. No. But you have to, in order to get corporations here, and we missed out on that on a couple occasions. I think Kia was looking at coming here.
Definitely Kia.
And Miller Brewing Company, it's in Albany, was looking here. If you go back and look historically at that and read the articles, you know what? Albany offered them a tax incentive. And guess where they're at? Albany. Georgia. Kia, guess where they're at? LaGrange. And we need large corporations to come here. Even Cessna, when they first started out, they were starting to build a lot of wing sections, tail sections. They were doing things here. They've scaled that down. They scaled their operation down. The only one that really kind of scaled up was H&K, because H&K was doing contract warranty work on weapons that were coming here. And then there was something about
H&K is a gun manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. And they did, I think, magazines for the military. That was one thing they did.
Right.
And then they realized that they could make something here and produce something. So they bought the property adjacent to it, and they've got a manufacturing thing where they do they do rifles and some other things that they do there. So they're a company that scaled up, and they've been pretty successful. But initially, all of their staff was German staff initially.
H&K.
Right. So think about it. But what I want to do is bring back medium to large corporations that pay good money. And we're going to have to offer them some tax incentives.
And they employ more than 1 to 25
Exactly.
people.
That's it. Employment, better jobs for our area.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we want to do. There's no incentive for people to stay here, no incentive whatsoever. And dragging all that down, all that adds to the crime that we got in Columbus.
Yes,
Right.
I mean, that's all. Got a poor economic base here. You've got gangs up here. You had a mayor that said we never had a gang problem.
We don't have a gang problem. Mark.
Yeah, I know. Let me tell you something. When we talk about gangs, I'm a member of the Georgia Gang Investigators Association, and when I go to these intel meetings, I go all over the state, but mostly to Atlanta and different places like that. And what they do in these meetings is we talk about intelligence, about gangs, and different things that are coming down. And what we do is we stand up, right? And it's like, hey, can you introduce yourself and give us, brief synopsis of a case that you might bring with you that they need some information on. So we do it. Well, I didn't have cases, but, I stood up and I told them, I said, yeah, I work for a sheriff's office. I won't tell you what that is, but I work for that sheriff's office and I live in Columbus, Georgia. And they go, ooh. We are considered one of the worst gang-ridden places in the state, and everybody's watching us. They're all watching Columbus, Georgia. That's why they got the nickname Columbus.
Kill them.
But these people are going and they're like, man, I don't see how you can live there. I got guys I work with, and they said, you travel back and forth every day? I said, yeah, I sure do. And they said, man, I couldn't live out there. Man, there's too much going on. There's way too much crime going on in Columbus. I know you got some experience in there, but when we're talking about gangs, and that's been my number one priority, I said it and I'll say it again. I'll say it over and over, folks. I have the background in the education to put a halt to this gang problem once and for all. And what I want to do is make sure that our community is safe for people to come visit and for our children to prosper and grow. I mean, seriously, I really think about that. And that's who I am, folks. You don't realize it, but you've got to, when you look at, I'm asking that people look at the candidates and look at what you represent. Yep. Look at what you represent. Look at what I represent. Look at our programs, folks. And more, what's really important is we break it down into categories. What specifically are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do with, and I've mentioned this, and Sarah knows my program is the 5-step crime reduction strategy. We're not going to take on this tasking by ourselves here in Columbus.
You can't.
No. What we're going to do is, I'm really disappointed with the GBI that was supposed to come here, their task force, and I ain't seen one freaking case yet. And we've got gang members all over the city.
How
You
much
hear
did
the
it
shootings.
cost? How much did that cost? 1.2 million?
Oh, it was more than that.
Oh, 7?
I think it was a little bit more than that because all the wages and everything that was brought with it. Was it Representative Smith? Remember, he voted the money for them to come here. I ain't seen no progress whatsoever. I would never include the GBI in anything that I'm doing here. They are slow as molasses. Yes, I am criticizing the GBI, but the bottom line is they are slow as molasses. And I want to bring in, what I want to do is bring like-minded agencies, law enforcement agencies from around 6, 7 different counties and our partners across the river. That's what I want to do. I want to include Barber County, Russell County, all those counties to come in because gang is not analogous to just the state lines.
Right.
It goes across the river. We've seen that. We've had a guy over there that was killing people and he come across and he was doing things over here. So we got to get our partnership straight with these other cities and bring them in under the fold. And I want to ask them to donate at least 2 or 3 members to make a task force because they got buy-in in these communities. Right. There's a gang problem in Harris County. There's a gang problem in Meriwether County. There's a gang problem in every one of these counties. We have all 159 counties have a gang problem. It just so happens that Columbus has the worst gang problem. And the police department, they want to take the council members want to take a victory lap. They go, woohoo! The police department said we got a 40% reduction in murders. Somebody's lying about the statistics because we've had murders every freaking weekend.
Hey, that's okay, Mark. You know what I requested?
What's that?
So people fail to realize. I know this is going to mean a lot to you. So that they fail to realize when you see the part 1, part 2 reports and stuff like that. Aggravated assault. Well, what constitutes an aggravated assault? Well, if I take a plastic spoon and I jab you with it, that can be considered an aggravated assault.
Yeah.
What I wanted to know is how many people were actually shot. Not how many were murdered, but how many were actually shot. I did finally get some of that data. Somebody else provided me with a bunch of the data because what I wanted to know is, was there a direct correlation with it? All right, so, hey, X amount of people shot, X amount of people die, so on and so forth. There is no direct correlation. An example is 1 year there could be 113 people shot, 50-something murders, but then the next year it could be 173 people shot. I'm making these numbers up, but it's giving you an idea. 40 people were murdered. But I was sitting there trying to actually find the correlation between a lot of it. Like, hey, are we getting better at stopping it? Is crime getting better? Or are they just becoming a worse shot?
And that could very well be. I mean, you think about it. Boom.
But I'm being serious when I say that because a lot of it is a spray and pray. And July 3rd of last year, and I don't know if the family's watching this, I actually called 911 when there was a shooting. So I stepped outside my house and I was topping off my pool and I stepped out on the deck and I heard it. And I just went, oh, that's bad. Call 911.
Yeah.
And I started out like this. I know tomorrow's 4th of July. This was not fireworks.
Yeah, you know the difference.
I know the difference between fireworks and gunshots.
Of course.
And then I told them, it turns out I told them exactly where it happened at. And that was just by hearing where it happened at. Because it happened right at, what was it? I want to say Forest and Amber or something. Somewhere right around there. But when I told them, I knew and I could tell, I'm like, and if it didn't happen there, it was damn close. Yeah. Just like that. And guess where it happened? Right at the intersection. I heard so many shots, and it was a young boy, and he had his child in the car. Thank God the child wasn't hit. But I've called in a good amount of shots fired. A lot of people, they'll call them in, they'll think that they'll mistake fireworks for shots.
I had them in my neighborhood, and I consider living in a good neighborhood. Last year, my next door neighbor ran across the street one day. He seen me out there. I wasn't working. Of course, my police car was out there, and he's a good neighbor. And he would come and he goes, "Mark, did you hear all those gunshots last night?" I was like, no, I was dead to the world. He goes, yeah, man. He said, I heard gunshots. And he lives in a split level structure, by the way. He said he looked out the window and they were bam, 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 right in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But this is the kind of crap that's going on down there. We're not safe. You know, and my granddaughter's bedroom is right there at the roadway. A stray shot could have went right through that window. And this has happened in a neighboring county up from us. The lady, 56 years old or 57 years old, was laying in bed. They were targeting another family member, a younger family member, and she ended up getting shot in the head and dying. So this is the kind of crap that we've got to put a halt to. We got to put a halt to that. And everybody's like, oh, well, there's more important things than just crime. And it was like, no, that is the number one important thing. Because if our families are not safe, our programs are not safe. Our schools are not safe.
So that's like we were talking about, you know, you're like, hey, you know, we'll briefly talk about your platform. So my top five, the first four, they all work together.
Right.
Right. They do. They all work together. And me and you, we also had a pretty good conversation. We could save that one for another time. The reason that I want to bring medium and large businesses here, who are the top two employers right now in Columbus?
Well, Aflac's one of them. I know that for a fact.
And your son works there, right?
Yeah, my son does. He's a supervisor on one of those. And
Thesis?
Pratt & Whitney.
And Thesis.
And Pratt & Whitney.
Yeah, Pratt Whitney.
So what does Aflac do?
They provide insurance.
Oh, they're into a lot more than that now.
A lot more than that now.
They are into their health insurance, cancer insurance. They're there's
a lot of different insurances.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's where it gets interesting, right? So they have people that still call, right? Well, how have you guys gotten any of these spam calls lately with these chat bots?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are extremely advanced. So
yeah.
At any given time, Aflac can either start pushing these jobs more remote than they already do.
Right.
They could be paying people overseas and stuff pennies on the dollar to do the same thing people are doing here. Or if they get smart, they're going to go to chatbots.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard recently from somebody, they have about a 90% solution on it. What's going to happen then? A whole lot of jobs are going to leave.
This is only going to get worse on our economy here.
Exactly. Because I'm from Rochester, New York originally.
Yeah.
Same size population.
Yeah.
Look at the GDP of Rochester, New York, and look at the GDP of Columbus. It's 4 or 6 times what it is. Kodak, Xerox, Paychecks all started there. I was very young. It was back in the late 80s. Kodak pretty much pulled out of Rochester.
Right.
The city went to crap.
Yeah.
They employed so many people. So many people. It's like I took my wife home. This was before we got married. She was pregnant at the time. Yes. And I looked at her and I'm like, hey, baby, I'm going to tell you right now, Columbus doesn't have on Rochester.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what do you mean? Murder rate. Handed that to her. Handed her my phone. She's like, oh. And then we actually pulled into the city. The ghetto of Rochester, like when you actually get in the ghetto, it is ghetto. Like it makes south side of Columbus or anything like that not look so bad. That's where I come from. That's where I grew up. Right. So a lot of how Columbus is resonates with me. It does. And that's why when it comes to the south side of Columbus, Airport Thruway and south, I'm like you said, and I've been beating this up. That's why I'm like, somebody's been researching my campaign. We continue to build up north. We continue to build out towards Midland. We need to rebuild and revamp what we already have here.
Yeah.
Whether it's knocking those buildings down and rebuilding them or renovating and remodeling, but a lot of these buildings can be used to bring larger companies here. Like that one building, for example.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we could use that for something family oriented. We're putting a Dave and Buster's up on Whittlesley. What do we have on the south side? What do we have on Airport Thruway and down that way?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Or a VOTEC program in that building.
I don't disagree with you on that, but here's the problem. We're not looking at crime in the same way.
Yeah.
We're not not you.
Crime is a big
but crime is a big issue when it
deterrence.
comes to, new housing or doing anything down there, building
Yeah.
corporations. Crime is still out of control.
Why do you
Yeah.
think economic growth is number
Right.
5?
Right. That's what I'm saying is, look, you and I, we're pretty much parallel each other. And I don't necessarily disagree with you, but, we talked about, these are the 5 things that I look at. Community safety, which I told you about, fiscal responsibility.
Yep.
The other thing is transparency in government, business development. I told you that's important to me as business. Actively listen to the community's needs and concerns. Work with the city council on much needed infrastructure development. These are all the things that I think I want, I want to make sure our city's successful. So I want to make sure that our city's successful in all those things. And I think you kind of think on the same lines that we are, but let's segue into something a little different that's been going on.
Well, I was going to say my top 5.
Yeah.
They're very close to
Yeah,
yours.
go ahead.
They are. So my
Tell
top
us what
5,
they are.
Crime and public safety.
Right.
Number 1, just like you said.
Yeah.
Number 2 is poverty and homelessness.
Yeah.
Number 3 is youth engagement. Now, that doesn't really mean, hey, that's my 3rd priority, because really youth engagement goes hand in hand with number 1. That's just like number 4, which is infrastructure, goes hand in hand with number 2. But those first 4 either have to be accomplished or at least heavily started before we can achieve true economic growth. We don't have the infrastructure in Columbus to truly support economic growth. We don't, and we need to fix
Yeah.
a lot of it. And
Well,
like you said, crime and everything else.
Listen,
Yeah.
crime as a factor, but
It is,
family-driven issues
Yeah.
by big families in Columbus have
Yeah.
governed that. If you wanted to put business here, you had to get with the Turner family, and you had to genuflect in front of them to get their approval to put another business in here. That's the way it was here.
Guess what, Mark?
Yeah.
I'm not getting with anybody
Yeah, I know.
because nobody's going to pressure me. And as
Yeah.
I've said before, if somebody stands in my way of something doing legitimately good for Columbus,
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. I am going to publicly make it known.
Yeah.
Well,
they
I-
don't scare me.
And we should.
This is my top, and I kind of posted it on my social media. The top 4 things that are important to me is safety for all citizens. Then is rebuilding the infrastructure. That means, our parks and recreation. And then also it was, I'm drawing a blank right now, but it had to do with lowering taxes because,
Right.
when taxes are lower, then it means everybody in the public, everybody can funnel more money back into the economy. And then my last one, I can't remember it. Let's just focus on the 3. But those are some of the things that, when I consider candidates, I that's what I'm looking for. It's like, are these people gonna do those things? Are they gonna bring back jobs? And that's the last one. Are they gonna bring jobs that are better paying? Are they gonna keep us safe? Are they gonna help us rebuild this infrastructure? Or is it just gonna be another politics? Again, politics as usual. Let's pander to the rich families.
Yeah.
Or
It's the have and the have-nots.
yeah,
That's what it is.
That's right.
See,
those who
that's-
have it and those who don't have it.
That's right.
I love how she said pandering.
Yeah.
Because I was accused of pandering.
Yeah.
I was accused of pandering. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. When with what they accused me of, the people that they accused me of pandering to, and I'm just like, I was like, that's funny.
But,
Look at my wife, look at my daughter, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, okay, I got you.
They'll use anything.
Look, I've been accused of being a racist. I've been accused of everything, and of course, you've seen my wife. My wife is Hispanic, and we're going to draw a large part of the legal Hispanic crowd is going to vote for me. I mean, that's quite obvious.
I still can't believe she put up with you for 46 years, brother.
You know what? Let me tell you, I've taken care of my family, and I've done everything that I needed to do, and that's the thing.
Good on
You do too. You take care of your family, and that's what's most important is taking care of our families. But if we can't be safe
Yes.
in this community, we can't take care of our families. And I think you and I have the same ideas about what we want to do, as far as being a mayor in Columbus.
The problem with what we want to do is the fact that we have to get there. And it's becoming extremely difficult
Yeah.
for anybody to get there unless they are favored
Yeah,
Right.
popular.
certain people.
And that's a good
right.
that's a
The news.
right.
that's a good segue into what I want to
Yes,
bring
the
up.
news
I
and
knew where we were
everything.
going.
The news. Listen, they did WTVM. Dylan Seymour. What's his name? Dylan, is it Dylan?
Yeah,
I think
Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour. He done a good job
He always
about
does a
interview
good
us. He
job.
always does a good job, and
Yeah.
we don't. I have no complaints about him. However, his producers, and so same thing with WRBL, they want to call the shots on who's going to be the next mayor, who's going to be the candidate for that.
Yeah,
so what they
propaganda.
have done, and I told you about this the other day, is they have pitted Joanne Coggle and Isaiah Hughley together, right? They've pitted them as the top. And the reason I tell you that is you understand what PSYOP is, okay? This is something that we did in the military. The news is very effective at it here because what they do is they prop up somebody.
Very.
Yeah. They prop up that person that they want to continue. They want to put him, they give him just a little bit more publicity than the other, and then pretty soon it's out of control.
Nice words
Right.
on their articles.
Yeah.
Because you saw my comment. You said
I
saw
did.
it. I said, what, 1 minute,
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
I snipped my 3 different
Yeah.
pieces together. It was 1 minute, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And all I've been doing, and I'll be public about this, I've been building an FCC case against WRBL,
Yeah. Yeah.
WTVM, WLTZ.
But see, here's what Chuck Williams did. And he called you. He tried to call me. It was on the phone, but I didn't answer the phone.
He didn't call me?
He didn't. Didn't you tell me he called you?
No, he hasn't called me in a long time.
Okay.
But I was stopped outside of a council meeting by a certain reporter.
Okay. So that's what it was. That's what we were talking about. But the bottom line is what they've done, right, is they put these figures out about and I've heard this before being in other campaigns. If you got the money, you got the success.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't take a lot of money to run a program. If you're smart and you're very, smart on how you do campaigns and sign and advertising and all that stuff, you don't need $87,000. You don't need $64,000.
400,000.
Right.
I was told 400,000 by a certain reporter. I won't say any names.
For
Right.
a mayor's race?
Look.
Well, that's
so
what they said it's going to
Gracious.
cost.
I was
Yeah.
asked.
That's
I was
bold.
asked what it would take. I'm trying to remember verbatim, but in short, it was what would cause me to not qualify. Nothing. I already know it's going to cost $1,950, and that's getting voted on tomorrow by council for me to qualify. So they're going to charge me $2,000 pretty much just to run.
Yeah.
Oh, last year.
If I lose,
thought
I
it
don't
was
get my
five.
money back. It was the same amount for mayor last time.
Okay.
And then
Sheriff is more, by the way.
right, it is. And then I was told that they are estimating it will take $400,000 to win the election. And in my mind, I said to win the election or to buy the election.
To buy the election,
Which-
exactly.
Which one is it? Because $400,000, I won't make that in 4 years as the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the COLA and everything else added into that, I won't make $400,000 in 4 years. So if you think I'm spending $400,000 on a campaign,
Yeah. So this is the reason that this PSYOP thing that people tried to play with the public out here, the voting public, is they'll mention this thing, and this is crazy because I just pulled down somebody's report today, and it says, and this was what was listed in the WRBL article, $87,000, and they go $87,000 from him, and when you look at the bottom, it says 52. Okay, and then it's a play on words. It's PSYOP.
full disclosure, I have not looked at the person.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any of these.
I have.
People have briefed me on them, but I have not personally dug through them.
And then this particular person has people that, and this is I don't know if it's special interest, but you got people from Albany, you got people from Louisiana, you got, and this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
You got
Why?
people, is this special interest or
Did
something?
you say Louisiana?
I did.
Wow.
I did.
Interesting.
Is there a name there with it?
Oh, yeah. I got a name.
Is there an
So-
address?
P.O. Box.
A P.O.
Now, I thought that you have to have an address, not a P.O. box. I think I read that somewhere Don't you have to, when you're a candidate, you have to be registered? I don't think you have a P.O. box.
Well, I think that's just for the individual candidate.
You can.
Yeah. But I don't think you can't, the candidate can't use a P.O. box to register.
No, he can do it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm talking about contributions.
Okay.
I'm talking about contributions.
Right.
That was emphasized to us.
Name and address for anything over $100.
Exactly.
Last time
And
I
then
checked.
this other candidate was $47,000, right? So what they wanted to do,
I'm sorry, did you check?
$66,000.
Did you check those addresses? Because wasn't one of those out in a vacant lot somewhere?
Yes. And we're going to get more information on that.
Okay.
But
It's interesting. It's like, who has their hands
in the cookie jar.
in our city election? Why is it so important? And what money is being funneled back to these people?
And this particular person here had end up balance of $35,000, but they stated the $66,000. So the reason I tell you that is because in the story, what they wanted to do was put the two top money winners up there.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason behind that is a PSYOP thing. They want to go, this is successful. Look at them. They got money. They should be the two that are running in this race. And the other ones just kind of brush them off by the side.
So we talked about that. So for me, I've financed.
Yeah.
I've bankrolled
I have to.
my campaign.
I have to.
Mark has bankrolled his campaign.
You want to know why?
But I also don't have all
You
of my-
probably have the same reason. You don't want to owe anybody any favors. There you go.
You're not going to have your hand in my pocket later.
That's why I don't stick my hand in anybody's pocket. If you want to donate to me, that's fine.
Yes.
I'm not going to refuse a donation, but I'm not going contribution. That's right. I don't want to go to somebody's bandering and pandering to them for the simple fact that I don't want to be bought off. I want to go into that office, and I'm sure you want to do the same thing with a clean record. You owe nobody nothing. No special interest whatsoever.
This is what I bring to the table. This is what I want to do.
Yes.
That's
if
right.
you think you're going to call me for a favor later, you're not.
Yeah. Look at the first person on this list is $200, and this is a state representative's husband, who that was part of the Republican Party, by the way. I might add.
Yeah, that's
This is very disturbing. There's another one on the list right here for $250.
Is that candidate in your hand? Is that a Democrat or a Republican?
Republican.
Would they declare?
Yeah.
They were
No, the
Republicans.
candidate.
Oh, the candidate is a state representative Republican who is, matter of fact, running right now to be reelected.
That's interesting. That is very.
And Sarah and I have talked about this. If you want to win, I know we're getting into a little bit of national politics.
and we're at an hour 20 minutes.
right. But the thing is with this, if you want to win, we've said this time and time again, and you talk about parties where both of them are a problem.
Yeah,
that's the problem we got.
Uniparty
Policies
right
over
here.
parties.
Yeah.
Policies over parties.
Right. And that's the problem that we have here locally is if you want to win local elections or state elections or national elections, you got to start here, ground street here.
Yeah.
Electing your candidates to the positions, giving them the support, and then they can go on to greater things.
So I'm glad you said that, Mark, because there was a meeting that I went to. I'm not gonna say which one it was because I was just kind of public about something that was said at one of the meetings. Pretty soon they're not gonna let me go to any meetings.
Oh yeah, I'm not welcomed at a lot of places.
I did have a reporter ask me, and they asked me in a kind of condescending tone, "What are you doing here?" And I looked right at them, and with the most serious face I could give them, I was like, "Well, I am running for mayor. I figure I should check it out." Okay. But in that same meeting, an individual in this race actually got up there, and this individual said, and I wish somebody captured that on film. They did. I know they did. But we're never gonna see. It's never gonna see the light.
Oh,
of
they'll
day.
try to bury that.
It's never gonna see the light.
Yeah,
of day.
they'll bury it.
It was one of these two sayings. I'm not sure which one it was. It was either, with your financial help, I can win, or it was I can win with your financial help. So this individual got up there in front of all these people at the library at the library in the auditorium. That was the event.
Yeah.
And said, pretty much, I could win if y'all give me some money.
Wow. Like, why
do you need their money to win? Why can't?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm taking contributions 100%. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that video that you also posted, that was interesting. Like, my thing is, like, you can tell these people are so confident that they can sway the election in their favor. And I'm like, where do they get that confidence from?
That part right there. So to me, I don't care. Democrat, Republican, who has the majority, who has the minority, or any of that, right? Because both parties, they're going to say the same stuff.
Yes.
We need to get out and vote. We need to take the House. We need to take the Senate. But once you cross that line and you say that even if we don't have the numbers, that a certain party governor will fight for you to have the majority anyways. So what you really just said is, to hell with the law.
Yeah.
To hell with the election.
They've said
to
that.
To hell with the election laws. And I don't care if it's a Democrat, a Republican,
2020 elections.
I don't care.
Yeah. 2020.
I don't care. That I have an issue with. That I have an issue with.
Paper ballots, please.
Yeah.
Please. State senators, representatives, you want to do something worthwhile with your life, bring paper ballots back.
Yes, please.
I don't know if I even trust that anymore.
Well, you know what? It's better than what we got because electronically, they just sit behind the scenes and they can do whatever they want with it. But the interesting part of that is some people, now I ran as a Republican. I consider myself as a conservative.
Me too.
And I'm running, to represent everybody in Columbus like you are.
Thank
you
you.
represent. But
The people, the voice of
the
the
voice,
people.
the people. But some people in my party have said, well, I just think that this female person has a better chance of winning.
She's a Democrat.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me that she's not a Democrat.
folks,
she's only pandering to the Democrats.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And here's what's going to happen because of what I just told you. They're pitting those two persons against each other, right? They're pushing us out of the way. I'm telling you propaganda-wise, that's just what happens. I've been here a long time, and I know this place. And what they're going to end up doing is pushing us out, and then it's going to be them two, right? It's going to be them two in a runoff. And then all of a sudden, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, and it ain't going to be what we think.
So now you have Byron endorsing her. Well wishes to Byron. All right. In all seriousness, I wish you the best with your medical issues.
Health.
With your health. Thank you. But to throw support behind her, knowing that you have been here your entire life and you know how politics works.
Yeah, there's another city council member right here that donated.
Oh, yeah.
To throw your support behind somebody that you know can't win.
Yeah.
That's troubling.
Yeah.
And we've talked about who has the best odds in this. We have.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to paint those two individuals as a front runner, but
that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, not
We
trying
know
to.
that.
That's
whole
what they're
media,
doing.
the whole
The
media,
whole media is complicit in it.
is so they're all aboard.
Again, they call the balls and the
Yeah.
strikes is what they do. And they make it, they're smart though. They make it look like it's all, hey,
I know.
we'll give you a couple minutes here on airtime.
I know.
That kind of stuff. It's horse shit.
Guess what? I don't need a couple minutes of airtime because I have this thing called social media.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is
We've
why
been hitting it hard.
This is the reason why we've done our own social media accounts, why we have established a podcast. And believe it or not, folks, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but this just happens to be the politics season. It's the midterms that are coming up. Yep. And we have a really important thing going on here in Columbus. We want to bring our sovereignty back, our safety and our security back to Columbus. And this is important. It's very important. And I really appreciate, you running. And I'm glad that you and I have seen eye to eye. We have maybe a couple of issues but we're kind of parallel to what we're talking about. What I want to do is make you and I the front runner of this thing and make sure that we're bringing the community back to what it was when this all started. I mean, I love Columbus. I've lived here been here since 1988. I could have gone a lot of different places. I got property all over the United States. I got property all over the place. And I'm going to tell you now, I could have gone to any one of those. I could have gone home to Michigan.
Yeah.
I could have done that. But here, we settled in here. We bought a house. We paid that house off. We don't owe a dime to nobody. Yeah. And this is what I've done. And I've run for public office because I want to bring back to the community what I did in the military. I really do. I want to bring back what I've done with them. And look, I'm quite frankly, I'm being a little biased, but I think both of us have a better chance of winning the mayor's office than what they're pitting against us.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate.
I field calls and messages all day long.
Yeah.
I do.
You have cause and effect, right? You have looked at the causes. You've looked at the effects. You have some solutions that you have. I have solutions that we're going to buy. But what I ask folks is that you go out and you look at the candidates and you break that down, just like I said at the beginning of this program. Look at the campaign initiatives. Look at their cards. But don't just look at the main titles. Ask them, what is fiscal responsibility? What is that? What are you going to do differently for those?
Fiscal responsibility, you mean $40-something million?
Yeah, exactly. No $50 million baseball parks.
Under your watch? Okay.
What happened?
No $50 million baseball parks without public approval.
That's right.
No secret votes behind transparency, what we talk here.
Schwarzenegger funds and
don't get me wrong.
Election funds.
Yeah, last minute.
I have no issues with the ballpark. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
But here,
it's expensive, Steve. What are you saying?
I know it's expensive.
But Steve,
there's a process though.
That's right.
That's why I said there was no process.
Right.
It was a secret vote.
Yeah.
Let the public be involved in this process.
Because we got to pay
secret
taxes.
votes. Secret votes that happen, right? And this is all BS. This goes along with the transparency. The other thing that really irritates me is when we talk about fiscal responsibility is not only in baseball parks, but we had just a few years ago, we had $5.5, $6 or $7 million that was stolen by one individual.
How could that even happen?
The magistrate court.
You said how much?
About 5, but I think it was 5.1, right around $5 million that was stolen, and it was sent to South Africa.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. The guy that was in the clerk's office. You don't remember that? The guy in the clerk's office stole that money, and of course he went to federal. Here's my question with that, and I don't want to get too far into this, but the bottom line was, who was doing the audits? Who was the city manager that should have been directing that stuff?
Obviously not their supervisor because he had no knowledge.
No, and the bottom line was there was $210 in that account. Holy crap. And this was going on for more than a year. It was going on for 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 years.
I did hear about that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So this is the thing when we talk about fiscal responsibility. I've said it, and I know you have ideas about it, but I said we're going to put cameras in every office that deals with money in the Columbus government. That's it. Bottom line. And why the cameras? Because people are being dishonest with our money, the taxpayer money. They're being dishonest. They're spending it like a drunken sailor on Friday night. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a good way to end this
episode.
I
think that's how banks do it too, though.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you guys have any final thoughts you want to say?
Let me very quickly, we're going to wrap this up, folks. And
I know where we disagree.
Where's that?
We do disagree on one thing.
Okay.
The traffic cameras. We disagree there, guys.
Yeah. Well, listen. No, the traffic cameras I don't like. I do not like them.
I know.
And the reason I tell you that is because they look at that as revenue generation.
Yeah, siphon.
And I don't want to give one more penny to the city council because they don't deserve to spend the money. We talk about, i.e., secret votes, baseball parks, all those other kinds of garbage. Wrong.
So the cameras, that is something that I am waiting for a little bit more information on.
Now,
so the way Georgia legislature is written is that money has to go to law enforcement.
I agree.
Well, apparently, some of the money does go to the school already. this is what I need to do, because they're private cameras, not public cameras, and so on and so forth. So this is what I'm trying to dig into more. So I don't want to, this is just Steve. I don't want to take the cameras out because they are there. They are supposed to be there in the school zone to protect our children.
Exactly.
Like we had a child ran over on, I want to say it was Miller Road or something out that way. That's just one example. Yeah. But with that being said, is there needs to be a sign out there saying you're subject to being ticketed at any time, and the speed limits need to change with it, or it needs to only be functioning during those set hours.
Steve, you know what? They're not reliable enough, and that's what I'm telling you. You have an attorney here in Columbus that is working against that. He does not like the cameras because, number one, the money or all of the paperwork and all that stuff is going through a private agency. And I'm not disagreeing that law enforcement don't need money, but you know what? There was officers that sat on motorcycles that sat in school zones and wrote tickets.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I don't want the cameras. I don't want them for that reason. I want to have the motor officers out there. Sheriff's offices has got motor officers too. Get them on the motorcycles and start writing tickets in there.
So the cops can't ticket as many people as a camera can.
Well, I get that. I understand that. Yeah. But again, we go back to, it's a two-edged sword. Yeah. You go back to giving them more money to spend on cars.
Oh, no. See,
No.
I've already decided where I want to allocate that money to.
Yeah.
And I'll discuss that more later.
Yeah,
I've already been public about it.
Yeah.
But no, I specifically want that money to go to specific places in specific amounts.
There are cameras that we use that are called flock cameras, and they're very beneficial.
All over the city.
Yeah. The flock cameras are good, but the law enforcement agency that I work with, the flock cameras are on the city exits in entrance and 2, right? And then in strategic areas through that we have them planted
throughout the city.
And let me tell you, the flock cameras have solved a lot of things. They've solved murders. They've solved suspects. We have arrested them. We've done good things with those. I don't mind those cameras. I don't. But what I do mind is the fact that those speed cameras, I do not want the speed cameras because they're not reliable enough.
So the flock camera, what I do mind with that is where that data goes and where is it stored? Well, where it's stored at. That I have a problem with.
Yeah, it is stored through the flock camera. The company stores the data.
Right.
It's only given out to law enforcement that have access to active law enforcement agencies.
And members of that company.
Well, probably, yeah. I mean,
that's what I have.
Of course, administration with it, yeah. But more of the time, what we can do is we get alerts on our phone, like, we've been looking for this murder suspect that did something in a county somewhere. We've been looking for him. And unless we just happen to traffic stop him for some reason, he's going to continue to get away and go in places.
Oh, no.
But all of a sudden,
I'm with it.
Boom, it comes to my phone and it said, hey, this just crossed into the county at this area. And I can go there and wait. So there's ups and downs and benefits of having the cameras and not having them. But the bottom line is
we need to find the best way forward.
Well, I agree. We need to find the best way, and that's what it is. So, look, we're going to wrap this up, folks. We had a great conversation. I just want to cover some things just very quickly, if you don't mind. You and I are going to go to a candidate forum, which is this Thursday, January 15th at 5:00 p.m. at the Columbus Public Library. This is
rooms A and B, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be right there, all those rooms that are in that one hallway. And this is a candidate forum. And we're going to be there. And I know a couple people are not going to be there. So
I guess they feel like they're too good for it.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some controversial questions. That's probably why they don't want it. It's not their.
Oh, that's right. Because we were supposed to talk about the internal audit report of departments of Columbus. Yeah, you know what? If I was the city manager at that time, I wouldn't go either.
Yeah. So that's the first one. There's another one that's a little bit down the line. We won't get too far down in there, but there was another invitation that I just got today from Davis Broadcasting and Wayne Hales. You've seen that probably. That's somewhere further down the line.
April.
No, it's in April. And this one in March is the Young Democrats Thursday. There's two different dates, March 26th and March
13th. I think.
10th. That's 10th. And that's going to be also at the public library. So those are the 2 dates.
Was it the 10th?
This is the Young Democrats.
Okay, yeah, I told them I could do the 26th. I couldn't do the other date.
There's some, like you and I have talked before, there's some you can't go to. I mean, we can't go to all of them. But the bottom line is we go to some of those things. And quite frankly, some are just not beneficial to go to at all. I mean, I've been to some of these campaign forums and there's been 5 people there. You know, I wouldn't say you're wasting your time, but really there's other things that could be done during that time frame. So
there definitely is, but the way that Steve sees it is if there's one person that shows up, I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
I'm going to be there.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I want to hear from the people.
Yeah, if there's one person, I've been there when there's one person in the audience.
Yeah.
Trust me. When I ran for sheriff, there was 1-2 people in the audience, and we treated it like the auditorium was full.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I'm just saying. But if you have time to commit to something else that you've already had committed, do what you got to do. Yeah. So we're going to close up this program. Steve, you want to give us some final thoughts and about you and where your campaign's going, and we're going to wrap this thing up.
Oh, that's easy. My campaign's going. We're going to City Hall. We're going to win.
Okay.
So that's it. But no, I want to thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's been a pleasure to bring you on board.
Yeah. We've had some long talks. I know somebody had made a post about how I was being petty when I took that one shot at you. I was, but you were expecting it. And we talked about it. We laughed it off. We're both.
And I took a shot at you too.
Yeah.
Couple shots actually.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why.
Those 2 shots that were kind of brought us together at a certain meeting, but it is what it is.
So, but no, I'm glad we actually did get to talk, and
this is what dialogue's about candidates. It's not, one side trying to outdo the other, and that's exactly
I've
what
talked to all the other candidates. I talked to Isaiah Hughley in Walmart. We were on Victory Drive,
and you know what?
I ran into him.
I'm going to offer you, if you want an hour of my time, I'll offer Coggle, I'll offer Hughley, I'll offer anybody that wants to come on the program. I'll offer you an hour of my time, but expect pointed questions like I gave you some questions. Expect that you're going to need to explain yourself because and you've done that quite effectively. But anyway, finishing up, go ahead, Steve.
But yeah, no, I did it. So, I've even talked to Isaiah. I first saw him, what was it? Oh, it was at the tailgate.
Yeah.
So where my buddy's RV was for the tailgate, all the Omegas were right behind there, and I was like, if I would have known you guys were right here, I would have gotten a bigger sign, just cracking jokes. As a matter of fact, hey.
That didn't go over well, did it?
Call the tow truck. We're going to have it, just cracking jokes. But, I saw him recently in Walmart, and I said something about the forums coming up and debates and stuff.
Yeah.
He said he received the invitations. I was like, all right. I was like, I'm going to let you know now. I'm coming hard.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Well,
I'm coming hard.
Yeah.
I'm not backing off.
I think everybody knows my background, and they know that I ran in previous campaigns. Oh, that's another thing the news likes to say. Mark LaJoye ran unsuccessfully 5 times. And you know what? I don't know about you, but I think you know how I've been trained in the military. And one of the things in the military is that I've been taught is never to quit. Never, ever quit.
It's a never quit, never leave a fallen comrade.
That's right. Exactly. Right? If you got 1 bullet left or a knife in your hand and the enemy is overrunning you, you do the best that you can, but you never quit. But people want to use that as a negative term. They want to use it because, again, it's that propaganda that we talked about earlier, minimizing you, pushing you down, pushing you away, and making. And the news, the Ledger is worse about it. WTVM. Oh, yeah. Here's an article I pulled up that was back when I made the announcement. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Somebody gave me this newspaper because I wouldn't buy it. I'm telling you, it's not worth bathroom paper. But it is what it is. So I appreciate Steve, you coming on again, and we'll have you back. Yeah, we'll have you back on the program. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
And I said the same thing. I said, folks, I've already said what I needed to say. Do your due diligence on your candidates. Right. Look at them. Don't use this favoritism issue.
Please don't.
Don't do it because we have a lot at stake. And
a lot.
One person just doesn't have this whole campaign locked up. I'm going to tell you that right now. And if you rely on that particular person you think's going to carry on Columbus, God, you're sadly mistaken. And you know, if and when it does happen, I'm going to come by and rub somebody's nose in it real hard.
They've had 40 years, Mark, and I can't think of 5 positive things. And people have asked on Facebook, 5 positive things. By the way, just so everybody knows, it's a podcast. It wasn't any kind of debate or anything.
Yeah, it's not a debate.
Very, very lighthearted. That's why
a lot of things
I'm
were discussed.
here joking and you know.
Yeah, we there's a lot of stuff that we talk about back and forth, and I appreciate that. And you and I are vying for the same office. That's what's important to it. But it's important that we talk about these things and get them out in the air, and let people know there are other candidates out here that could do a great job in this office, and that's what's important.
With very strong backgrounds.
Yeah, but Sarah,
successful backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah always takes us out of our broadcast with a little prayer and stuff like that, and I think it's important. If you don't mind, we're going to do that. So go ahead.
Yes. Dear Jesus, we just thank you for this time, God. It was so nice to meet Mr. Kelly, God, and hear about what he has planned for Columbus, Lord. And Lord, we know that you said in your word that you set up kings, God, and you tear them down, Father. And you know the best person that you've chosen for this position, Father. And so, God, we just ask, God, that you would be with Mark, be with Steve, God, be with our city, Father, and all the other candidates, Lord, and that you would place the best person for the job in this role, Father. Our city just really needs a change, God. We need a little bit of reprieve, Father, and so we just ask that you would grant it to us, God, and that you would just show yourself greater than all the cheating or the, shenanigans that can happen, God, and that you would just give us an open door for your perfect will. We thank you for this time. We pray blessings over Steve and his family, God, as he goes, and we just ask that you would just rest over us, Lord, for the rest of the week and until this campaign or this whole election season is over. And it's in your son's name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
If I would have known, I would have shaved my head before I came.
You're bald, all right? All right. Final words, Mark?
Yep. Whoop.
Yeah, that was kind of funny, wasn't it? Yeah, folks, just final words going out. Thank you for tuning in. And this will be on, we'll have it on live Facebook, and we'll have it on YouTube and all the other mediums that we'll have it on. We'll give, what we've been doing is little snippets here and there. We put up, then we put the whole program out because we want to kind of tantalize people to come back in and look at the programs. But we have some interesting guests coming up here in the next few days. And so stay tuned and we'll be there. All right.
All right.
Take us out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.